Hi everyone, it's Will from Team Shock here, and welcome to my shed. We're going to try something brand new for this year, so we're going to start the Team Shock Builders Log, which is going to be a weekly video that we're going to be posting to our YouTube channel. And on that, we're going to try and give some behind the scenes access to what we do throughout the year. We've got loads of really big plans for 2023, and we thought the best way to document this would be through this series. So we're going to do loads throughout the year. We've got a new heavyweight planned. We've got loads of work to do to our existing robots, some new featherweights as well. And throughout the weeks, we're going to try and do some sort of tour videos of our facilities. We're going to get some robot breakdowns of all of our machines, so from Beetleweights right the way up to the heavyweights. And then when we go to the competitions, we've got loads lined up, loads of shows with Extreme Robots, Robots Live, hopefully a couple of others too if we get accepted. And we're going to try and give some access there as well, show you what goes on behind the scenes. And depending on how things go, we might try and meet up with some of our fellow competitors, get some footage of behind the scenes with them, maybe some interviews, and lots of really cool stuff that you might not normally get to see, especially in the UK circuit. So let's see if this works. Now, unless you're a Robot Wars fan or you follow the Extreme Robots Live tour, then you probably have no idea who Team Shock are. So we've been competing in the fighting robot scene since, well, about 2007 is when we got started properly, but we did build some robots even earlier than that. Our first machine we built in 2003, and that was a little featherweight flipper robot called Tidal Wave. And believe it or not, there's still some footage around of that one. But since then, we've sort of continued building bigger and better machines since then. So in 2007, we started with a featherweight called Whirlpool, and it was your most basic four-wheel drive drill motor brick. But we loved it. It was great fun. Did pretty well at the time, made a couple of competition finals, and we kind of evolved from there. Ended up building a couple of flipper robots. So in fact, the original Shockwave and Aftershock, and in fact, the original Aftershock is there. We'll have a look at that one in a later episode. They were our first flipper robots. We built them in 2007, and that really got us started from there. 2008, we bought a retired Robot Wars competitor, St. Agro. That became our machine Maelstrom. So we rebuilt that and had some considerable success over the years as well. We made the UK Championship finals in 2009 and 2012 with it, and won a handful of Robots Live and Extreme Robots events, as they were back at the time roaming robots. So we did pretty well in the heavyweight scene. But then it really started to build in 2013 when we built Manta, as that really sort of propelled us up to the top end of the scene. Made a couple of UK Championship finals with that one as well, before eventually winning it in 2017. But we're probably best known for our heavyweights Shockwave and Aftershock. So Shockwave competed in the first series of the rebooted Robot Wars. Did all right. It was a four-wheel drive lifting robot, made it all the way through though to the grand final after winning the heat against Thor. Didn't do so well in the grand final. We lost to Robot Wars legends Apollo and Carbide after we sustained some pretty nasty damage. After that, we went away between Series 8 and Series 9, and we came up with the concept of Aftershock. And Aftershock's based on our featherweight robot Inertia XL. In fact, there's a new version of it up there. It's only had a couple of fights so far. But Inertia XL was built back in 2011, and it was one of the first sort of really effective vertical spinners that did quite well for a couple of years. And then when it came to doing a robot for the second series of Robot Wars, we thought, why not? Let's have a go. With some great sponsors. So Enzy Limited helped us with a great chassis, and they water jet cut all the disc and the bar and stuff like that. And that got us into Series 9. From there, we then evolved it with a brand new version for Series 10. We don't talk about that one though, didn't go quite so well for us. We've continued building robots, so we had a heavyweight Earthquake for a while, which was a little front hinge flipper. And then a couple of years ago, during lockdown, we decided to rebuild that, again with the help of MC, who did a great job on the chassis for our current sort of live event challenger Tectonic, which is a low pressure flipper. So we've been competing now for a number of years. We've gotten pretty good over our time, and we still continue now. So we've still got Tectonic, we've got Manta, and we've got Aftershock, but there'll be a bit of more news coming up on Aftershock later on in the year, as we've got some pretty big plans for that one. And then now we're going to carry on and build some new robots as well. So what I thought I'd do now is give you a little bit of a tour of what I've got here in my shed. So believe it or not, I'm operating out of a tiny 7 by 7 foot shed. And in here I've packed in quite a bit of stuff, as you're going to see. In a future video I will do a little bit of a tour of my dad's workshop. He's got something a little bit bigger, and that's where the rest of our heavyweights and a lot of our more heavy duty equipment lives. So let's have a little look. So in this shed, I mean, when I show you, like, it literally is, that's the size of one side of the shed there. So I've got a little bandsaw in here. Got this one off of eBay a few years ago, about 40 quid. Really lovely little machine though. Pillow drill as well. So most of my machines are made pretty basically. I do have up there on the shelf though a sort of modified CNC router, so it's one of the little 3018 CNCs that I've modified a little bit. Down here you can see some of my beetle weights. So we've got Inferno. So Inferno here is one of the Fingertech Beta bar spinners, and this one was the UK champion a couple of years ago, won the BBB champs. Next to it we've got Inertia B4. So this one's the vertical spinner, much in the same sort of style as the featherweight version. This one had a lot of work done sort of October last year, and did really well in the Beetleweight Champs in October. Made it all the way through to the round of 8, I believe it was, before getting knocked out by Bish Bash Bosh in quite a funny battle. Do go and check that out on the Bristol Watt Builders YouTube channel, because it was a really good fight, that one. And then this is where we've packed in a lot of stuff. So on the top there, we've got, in a few bits at the moment, we've got Inertia XL. So, you know, it's missing bits, like I've taken the wheels off and stuff like that to do a bit of work on the drive. We've got a couple of spare discs for it down there as well. In fact, that one's brand new, hasn't even seen the arena yet. On the next row, so this one, I said it's one of our newer robots. This is Polaris that we've bought from Glenn from Demon Designs in Australia. So that's a fantastic flipper, really powerful, some lovely machining on there, but we'll do a full breakdown video of that one in a couple of weeks time. We then got Heatwave Mark V. So that one's a relatively old machine for us, built in 2018. Works really lovely though. It's got a massive pneumatic system in there, 60mm ball ram. It's got a massive buffer tank, really high flow rate through. And that was able to throw robots clean out of the Robots Live Arena, which we did a few times last year. Heatwave Mark IV is the older version here, so this one's kitted out with a low pressure system. So when we do some pneumatics videos, you'll see the difference between the systems in those robots. Then quite possibly one of the oldest featherweights still competing at the moment, this is the original Aftershock. So we got this one in 2007. Previously, it was a machine called Cutlet 540, built by the team that brought you Lamsey and U2 on Robot Wars. We bought that, did some upgrades to it, so all the HDP armour was brand new, and it's a pretty handy little flipper. And we brought this one out of retirement a couple of years ago. We ran it at the Bevs tournament at Robo Nerd, and it made it all the way to the final, losing to Shane and Drive-By. So really nice little machine, and again, that one still runs. Below it we've got the two chassis for Soundwave. So this one's actually empty, so we've taken all the bits out of that one, and you can see there's a few sort of spinner marks on it from the likes of Neon and Captain Jack and Straddle. This one's still working though, so this is like the non-spinner version of the shell. You can see we've got some pneumatics and bits in there, so it's a low pressure pneumatic system in there, and again we'll do a little bit of an update on that one in the coming weeks. Then our other brand new robot to us is Slingshot. So this is destined to replace Soundwave as our sort of full combat entry for featherweights. Big powerful flipper, really tough. So the front of this is actually 5mm Hardox, so really tough machine, and a brilliant sort of piece of machined aluminium for the pneumatics inside, but we'll show you all that later on. And then we've got down here waiting for a bit of work. These robots are actually built by my students. So we've got a little demo robot there based on our featherweight POS, which actually lives up on the wall up there. Really needs a bit of work doing to it at some point to get it running again. And then we've got this one's Maverick down here, so it's a little axe robot, but again it needs a little bit of work. And tucked away underneath all this pile of stuff waiting for a bit of work is Tectonic. Now we're going to get that out in the next couple of weeks, start doing the sort of yearly strip down and rebuild to try and get it all back up to speed. But yeah, as you can see, we've certainly packed a lot in here. And then if we go over to the last part of the shed, it's basically all the spare parts on there. Some pretty cool stuff lives in here though. So at the back there, we've got the pneumatic system from Little Hitter that we did have in our robot Tidal Wave. that's awaiting a rebuild. Even further down, so behind that, just sort of down there, is the pneumatic cylinder from Rhubarb. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that's tucked away in here, and as we go through the sort of the coming weeks and months, then we will get a lot of it out and have a little look. Final little one at the back up there, that is the original Betaweight Manta. That was built, must have been about 10 years ago now, so a lot of history here, a lot of new stuff, and more importantly, a lot of work to do over the next few weeks. So that's a little bit of an intro into what we've got inside the shed here. Please do tune in over the next few weeks and months as we're going to start taking these robots apart, doing some work, and also show you some really big updates that we've got coming with some new machines, especially our new heavyweight. That's going to be really, really exciting. So thank you for watching this video so far, and hopefully we can keep this up and continue for the rest of 2023. Thank you.